Thank you very much. First of all, I got told it was reading week this week, so thank you to those, and hello to those who turned up today. Hello to everyone online. My name, as it was just said, is Caitlin Meldrum. I am currently the museum assistant at the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders Regimental Museum, a bit of a mouthful, at Sutherland Castle. I have been in this job since June 2022, but since starting my museum career in about 2015, I have worked but also had internships and work placements in about 6 different areas in Scotland. So this is why I was asked to come along tonight. So I've been asked to talk about what the benefits are of doing an internship whilst you are a student at university. Now, quite honestly, quite simply, I would not be here today. I wouldn't have my career today, but I would love to do a mic drop moment, but I've been asked to speak for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to look into what I think the benefits have been, but I'm going to start with me and my background. So 2014, I started my single honours degree in history at the University of Dundee. Sutherland was my insurance. I'm sorry I never came here. But yeah, started my single honours in history. I knew I wanted to be a historian from a wee girl, and I do blame Terry Deary and horrible histories, but I knew I wanted to be a historian. So packed up, went to Dundee, started my undergraduate. And you know what it's like as a humanities student. You get asked from day dot, so what are you going to do after your degree? And I did not have a Scooby. They heard I did history. So you want to be a history teacher. I didn't think I wanted to be, but I didn't know what else there was for me to do. Second year starts, and there's an internship module that's an option for me when I'm at university. And I thought, I am taking that. There's no exams, it's 100% coursework. That's an easy pass. I'm going to take this module. And don't get me wrong, it came with some fantastic skill sets, like how to write a CV, interview skills. But obviously, as the title suggests, it came with an internship placement. So, takes that, sitting in class the first day and the placements are all up on the board. Teaching, no, I don't want to do that. Working with kids in community clubs, I don't think I want to do that. Working with Dundee City Council, again, I don't think I want to do that one. Museum services, that is when I knew that I was going to try and see if this is something I wanted to do. So I applied for it, I interviewed for it, and I was successful in gaining my internship. And I honestly, single-handedly credit this internship for being where I am today. It would be easier to tell you what I didn't do in my internship than what I did do. I learned how to use databases and accessioned whole museum collections. I installed and deinstalled museum exhibitions. General collections care was a big part of it as well. And it was meant to last 1 semester. I enjoyed it so much, I ended up volunteering for 2 years after the fact. And then went on to kind of persuade me to go and do a museum studies diploma, which I did do at the University of Glasgow. And during my studies here, I did a placement with Glasgow Museums at Kelvin Grove as a volunteer coordinator with the Dippy on Tour exhibition that was there in 2019, for anybody who visited it. This placement, I know for a fact, helped me get my job today. I asked my employees when I was asked to do this, why did I get this job? And my manager at the time told me that my volunteer coordination is a big part of my job today, that I was the only candidate they interviewed that had the volunteer management experience that they were looking for. So yeah, my internships helped me get the jobs that I have today. So we'll have a wee look at why I would recommend that you also do the same. So as I said, I wouldn't actually be standing here today, I don't think, if I hadn't done my internships. But you actually get to find out if it's a career you want to do. I know a lot of my friends that thought they wanted to do stuff, focused their studies very solely on getting this career aspiration, got that career and realised it's not exactly what they wanted to do. But for me, I actually got to narrow down to find out something that maybe I did want to do, and that is obviously what panned out for me. Internships and work placements can lead you on to paid employment. Now, I mean this directly and indirectly. In my case, it was indirectly. I finished my internship, I didn't get paid employment, but I did go on and do my diploma, and that did then lead on to paid employment. But I did have friends in my undergraduate, one of which, I'll not name names of employees, but went and worked with solicitors and got offered paid employment on the spot after they finished their internship. Another person I know got an internship with a big media corporation in Scotland, and they were told on the condition they got their degree, they would be offered a job at the end because they were already in there. You can gain feedback from the people that the sector you want to work in during your internship. So for me, I was told that if heritage and culture is something I wanted to aspire to, I would need to get more experience that wasn't in the place I was already in. So with that feedback, I did follow suit, and I obviously managed to get into the sector. But whether that be practical skills you need to develop, your confidence, your people skills, you can get it from professionals already in the sector. You can also keep up with current trends that are in the sector. Now, I imagine everyone here has been interviewed for something at some point in their lives. I haven't interviewed people myself as well. During an interview, you're obviously teased, whether it's a direct question or you're teased, you see if the candidate knows what's going on in the sector you're working in. Having already been in the sector, you're going to know what's happening, and your potential employers will pick up on this. But you can also gain the ability to put your theory into practice. So very similar to when you're writing an essay, you have your point, you have your evidence, and you have your analysis. Your studies, quite possibly your point, but your experience in your internship, your placements, is obviously your evidence, which will go on to allow you to analyse your points a lot better. In 2014, the UK government did a study on internships. You can find this paper very, very easily online. And there was 2 case studies. One group did their academics, but also did an internship alongside it. Another group just focused on their university studies and their training. By the time they finished, when they graduated, the pool of students who had done internships, 58% of those went on to direct paid employment, whereas those who hadn't had any internships, only 30% of those had gone on to paid employment after university. So I think the proof's in the paper as well. But lastly, I would say the networking that goes on. I know I'm echoing what's just been said a couple of minutes ago, but networking is something I don't think, as a student myself a couple of years ago, don't take enough advantage of. If you get an internship, ask those professionals to add you. Get your LinkedIn polished up first of all, but ask them to endorse you for stuff that they know you're good at. Put that professional on as a reference. I know the job market now won't always let you put 2 academic references on, and I know for me, having a reference from Kelvingrove Museum in the museum sector in Scotland was gold dust. So having an internship and making those professional developments, getting those references on your CV will make a big, big difference. So just to move on as well, I would like to point out that I know I was incredibly lucky to be in the position of doing an internship. I didn't have any dependents. I lived by myself. I was, 18, 19 at the time. Transferable skills are absolutely key. Just because you're on an internship does not mean you are not gaining life skills in the other places in your life. Join societies and get onto the committees there, and same with clubs. Paid employment. I was a waitress the whole time I was at university as well. This is the people skills, the mathematical skills that I learnt alongside that too, have been absolutely key in shaping the person I am today as well. So just this picture as well, I absolutely love. This was actually a youth programme I was part of that I did alongside my Masters. Nothing to do with my postgraduate at all, but Glasgow Museums recognised they didn't have enough young people in the sector, and so we're giving you a kind of group where we established our own exhibition, and we co-curated it. This group still exists today. If you're interested, they take a new cohort every year. So that was something else that I did alongside my studies. That was not an internship, and it wasn't necessarily a placement either. So when I was asked to do this talk, you always see quotes. So I thought I had to put a quote up there. So with Oppenheimer being up this year, Einstein summarised this very, very well. So the only source of knowledge is experience, and you need experience to gain wisdom. And I genuinely think this summarises everything I've tried to say very, very nicely. So I've just mentioned networking. Let's keep in touch. Add me on everything, I'll follow you back. If you are interested in getting in the museum sector, get in touch with a museum professional. I'm more than happy to even if you've got to ask any questions, any advice, I wish I had someone like me when I was starting off in my career. So please don't hesitate to get in touch, and that's to everyone online as well. I'm absolutely more than happy to try and be a helping hand. So thank you very, very much for listening to me the last couple of minutes.